Hey guys, how there she
It
is.
worked. Yay. It was my app. It wasn't updated. That's why.
Okay, fantastic. As long as we have you. So guys, this I very excited to share that we have somebody I completely adore. It's Raquel, and she goes by My Vegan Lady, and she has a beautiful profile where she really engages with people and comes to it with a place of no judgment, which I love about her. So her advocacy is very chilled, very relaxed, a lot like her personality. And yeah, welcome, Raquel.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to chat with you today. I love your brand and I love everything you guys stand for. So I think one of the first things that stood out to me was that your designs are like designs that I would look for before going vegan. And I think so many different brands have more of like an earthy vibe. So I love that these are like beautiful and just totally my speed.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. So, Raquel, tell us, you've had a journey and you're doing this beautiful advocacy, but what was the trigger? How did you convert into veganism? And tell us a little bit more about who that Raquel was pre
Yeah.
the veganism.
I was definitely the opposite of a vegan growing up.
Yeah.
So I
All of
never
us were.
envisioned, yeah, I never envisioned this would be my life at all. But I think sometime in high school, I realized there was a health connection because my mom had a heart attack
Wow.
and they started recommending plant-based foods.
Okay.
So obviously that was really scary, and that's when I started my first deep dive into what plant-based eating really is. After that, it obviously became more about the animals because as you fall down the rabbit hole, you just learn more and more. So I think just as I grew up, I decided I wanted to make kind choices and try to be someone who lives my life in a way that I can be proud of. And that's what being vegan is to me. It's making choices that are in line with who I am in every aspect of my life, not just food, even though it can seem that way when you first learn about plant based living and being a vegan.
No, that's true, right? Because that's a lot of people then sort of stop questioning their choices around other products,
Mm.
other stuff in their lives as well.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me a little bit about, so, you said you've had this very gentle journey and your profile really sort of shows what are the easy things that people can adopt in their lives,
Hmm.
right? So tell us a little bit more about that kind of advocacy that you are doing. Just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think when I first I'm vegan, I took the aggressive approach because I'm from New York. So
yeah.
I was like, I was like, you know
I
what?
love New York. That's the best.
Me too. But we definitely have a reputation for being on the more direct side. And that
Correct.
was the approach I took. And that was what I thought was right for a really long time. But I realized it started to hurt my relationships and it
Yeah,
started to wear on me as a person.
correct.
I was never a very angry person. I was never
Yeah,
somebody who, was bitter toward the world. And
correct.
then I went vegan and I realized that's who I was becoming. And
Hmm.
I took a step back and I was like, I don't want to become a bitter person in my
Correct.
pursuit of helping advance the vegan movement.
Correct.
So I just decided to take a step back
Mm.
and decide that a kinder approach to advocacy is healthier for me, is healthier for my relationships, and it's probably more effective long term.
Yeah.
So that's what really guides the way that I talk about veganism to my friends, my family, and online. And I
Mm.
think specifically on my page, I wanted to create a positive corner of the vegan internet
Oh,
because
beautiful.
thank you. Because I looked for that everywhere online when I first went vegan, and a lot of it was heavy and intense. And I just felt like I wanted to be the opposite of that for vegans online to find some relaxation and be like, we're okay here. It's not going to feel heavy. And even non-vegans can come here to my page and feel that way. And that's the environment I want to create online.
I love that. I really,
Hmm.
really love that because I think there are very few of us who sort of use that approach.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us sort of feel that we really need to make a difference, and by being louder, it's easier. But quite frankly, I feel your approach is similar to mine as well. The one which is more loving and more kind and more accepting of other people, no judgment. You
Yeah.
know, do what you can, right? Do what you can,
Yes.
baby steps, and then move forward,
For
right?
sure. Yeah, I think too, none of us, I mean, most of us didn't
Yeah.
start our lives as vegans. We
No.
were all raised to be non-vegan. So I
Correct.
think meeting people where they are is
Yes.
a great way to make people feel comfortable talking to you about it.
Exactly.
So we're all on a journey.
Exactly. We're all on a journey.
Yeah.
When after you sort of did moved over for plant-based health reasons, did you feel there were moments that you wanted to go back?
All the time.
Or and did you?
All the time. It
Because
took me,
I've been there as well. Because
yeah.
I was vegetarian at the age of 18 when I used to pass a
Mhm.
live butcher shop. I used to love butter chicken, and it
Oh.
dropped off my chicken just dropped off, all animals dropped off my radar. But then when I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and I was living in the dorm, I struggled and I lost a lot of weight because there was I just
Mm.
nothing I could cook. So that's
Yeah.
when I had moments of like,
I think everyone does. And it's not something to feel ashamed about because like we said before, like when you grow up not vegan, that's
yeah,
what you get comfortable with, and that's what the world tells us to do.
yeah,
So it's so easy for new vegans to have that feeling of wanting to go back.
yeah.
And it took me 3 times of going vegan and
There
then
you go.
failing
Yeah,
to really get it to a point where I learned enough to do it sustainably. Because you have to rebuild your
correct.
plate. You have to
Correct.
rebuild, the whole idea of what you had around nutrition, and
Yes.
you have to learn what you like and what to buy, and it just takes time. It's genuinely a journey, which is why the kinder approach is so necessary because it was a struggle. And so finding community with people who understand and went through that also is what we need. We need to support
Yes.
each other through that journey rather than reprimand each other every step
Yes.
of the way.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I totally failed multiple times, and I essentially, sorry, I want to read that comment. Do you know that
Yeah.
23% of American women try
Let's
to
read
eat
it
less?
loudly so that, yeah.
Yeah, the 23% of American women actively trying to eat less meat. First of all, 24 years of being plant-based is incredible. Congratulations on
Congratulations.
that. And I actually didn't know that it was such a high percentage of people who are reducing their meat consumption. That's so encouraging because I think we are a growing population and we forget because in our lives we may not be surrounded by vegans, but it's
Yeah.
true that there's so many of us out there like actively, working toward the same mission. So I love that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, guys. And if you
Yeah.
guys have any questions as well, please feel free to just put it there. Raquel and I will go through them as well because she is fantastic at putting stuff together, and I will go through that in a bit as well, just in terms of menus, recipes. And if you follow her page, you will see that there is a lot of fantastic recipes and a lot of food stuff that she eats. She gets some from Costco, Trader Joe's. I don't know where she pulls stuff out of, but there's cheesecake stuff. When I had my mouth watering. It's still watering. But let's go back here. So, Raquel, when you were doing a lot of, your profile is a lot of fantastic help and support for beginners, right? Is there any myths that you think that could be debugged, especially at the beginning stage?
Yeah, I think the biggest myth I love to talk about
Mm.
is this myth that soy is bad for you.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
I, I was sold that for so long. And as a woman specifically, hearing something
Yes.
like that can feel so scary. So that's my favorite myth to debunk to everybody that I talk to, like that those things were not true. Soy is incredibly healthy for you.
Correct.
And so that's the first one I always like to go through. And then the other one is that vegans don't get protein.
Yes.
Um, I get so much protein in my diet that I don't even have to try to meet the
That's
minimum
true.
requirement. I get over 20 grams of protein with every single meal. So those are
Okay,
some
so
things that, yeah.
let's talk a little bit about that. Walk us through like what your actual grocery cart looks like. What are the five
hmm
things in it every single week that a total beginner could copy tomorrow?
Okay, so a total beginner, if they were going to the grocery store,
Yeah.
I would tell them to grab some extra firm tofu. I would
Mm-hmm.
tell them to grab some high protein soy milk. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would tell them to get some soy free tofu. Not because soy is bad, but because it has so much protein and no fat. And I absolutely love it as like a mix up alternative. It's made from fava beans. And then I would say all the staples you always get. So pastas, rice, fruits, veggies, like all those basics. Um, the only things that you have to spend time determining what you like is like alternative cheeses. You know, you might have alternative meats that you want to try different brands of because everyone has their own opinions there.
Yeah.
So I would say like trial and error.
Yeah.
But those are things that I buy every single week and
Yeah.
you can flavor them anyway. You
Yeah.
can make it all different types of cuisine,
Yeah.
flavor wise, and it just makes it so much easier to like
Yeah.
build a base around tofu and then a healthy grain like quinoa or rice or something like that.
Okay. No, so
Yeah.
that's very, very helpful because I did not even realize that there was tofu which was not soya. I did not know that. So that's
Yeah. Yeah. So you can make tofu out of anything. They do lentil soy. I mean lentil tofu, not soy. And then the fava bean one is really good. I buy that one every single week. The
yeah.
brand I get is Big Mountain Foods in case you
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Raquel, there was a question. Could you refer or provide any sources for debunking that soy is bad for you, specifically for women? Do you have it? Do you have any
I
links or
don't have it
something?
on me, but I totally can drop it in this chat at the end. One of my favorite doctors who dives into peer reviewed medical studies, his
Yeah.
name is Dr. Matthew Nagra. And he is so awesome at going through some of these myths around what's healthy or not healthy. And he has the most evidence because I am in no way a doctor to like break
Yeah.
down certain studies, but
Fair
he
enough.
will do it for you.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend going to his page after this, and he talks about soy a lot because it is such a big myth. And he'll be a reputable
What was
person.
his name again? Doctor what?
Matthew Nagra, Nagra.
Okay, NAGRA
Yeah,
guys. Okay,
he's
Matthew.
awesome.
Okay, yeah,
And
no,
tempeh
that's
is pretty good too. I don't know how to cook it really well, so I just fry that thing like bacon. But
mm,
I definitely need to experiment with tempeh way more.
mm. Yeah, me too. I'm learning so much over here. That's fantastic. What is like a vegan thing that you might have tried, hated, and quietly never did again? And also, what do you do for cheese? Because I think a lot of people who sort of try to come into veganism also they struggle with cheese. I know I struggle with cheese. So
Yeah.
how are we doing that?
I struggle with cheese as well. The thing that I hated was definitely like vegan pizza. Like I've definitely had to like give away a vegan pizza that with like tacky vegan cheese. And I'm from New York, so like I take that very seriously.
Seriously, of course.
So that truthfully, like, and I don't think it hurts the vegan movement to be honest when something's not good. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, I used to lie and everything I ate, I'd be like, it's vegan, it's good. Like
Yeah.
let's be real. Because if we're gonna get the world on board, we need the things to taste good. So
Yes.
what I have been doing lately, and it's definitely sparing, is I will kind of almost like toast up vegan cheese on the pan so that
Mm,
one side is crispy and then the other side doesn't have enough goo to become tacky. I've been doing it with the Daya cheese and it's been good. Like I've actually enjoyed it and I haven't bought vegan cheese in almost 4 years. I've repurchased the Daya cheese to do this with. And I'll put it on top of like a sandwich in the morning or like if I'm doing like a meatball sub, I'll put like a mozzarella like crisp almost. You know
mm.
how people do Parmesan crisps on like a
Yeah.
salad? It
Yeah.
looks like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. But otherwise, I make my own homemade cheese sauces with like a silken tofu, just so
Uh,
that it's creamy and it's not tacky. Um, has some extra protein and nutrients, so I like something like that. But
right.
truthfully, the vegan movement, like we just have to cross our fingers and be patient
Yeah.
that something better is going to come out.
That's true. That's
This-
true. But
it's the struggles of an early adapter,
yeah.
truly.
Yeah, but I really like your idea of like warming up your vegan cheese so that it's crispy on one side, so then the taste sort of really sort of comes in really
Yeah.
nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like that. Now I want to talk about something a bit more personal, close to home. So you've obviously spoken publicly about the fact that your husband is not vegan, right?
Yeah. True.
well, and there are many people right now who are watching and who have relationships, right? And we also discussed and how initially when you were a new vegan, you were like rah 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 and probably alienated a lot of people, you know, uh,
Hmm.
the necessary. So take us back. How did you sort of navigate being a vegan and dating a non-vegan, and then of course marrying? Were there any mistakes you made? Like, just
Yes.
let's talk about that.
I could talk about this for hours, but I'll try to be pretty like straightforward about it.
Yeah,
Um, I would say that the truth of the matter is that we're surrounded by non-vegans. My friends, my
right,
family, my coworkers, they're all not
correct.
vegan.
Yeah,
So when it comes to a relationship,
yeah,
I grant him the same approach that I grant the rest of my friends and family, which is I don't give them ultimatums. To be in
mm,
my life, you don't have to be a vegan.
correct.
And that is honestly helpful for vegans long term because if we isolate ourselves from our
Yeah,
support systems, that doesn't make us a more effective vegan. It just
correct.
makes the journey that much harder.
I agree.
And I think it's really important to remember that as early adapters, it's not as simple and black and white as if you're vegan, you're good, and if you're not vegan, you're bad. Because there are years of social conditioning and billions of dollars of propaganda
Correct.
telling them that what they're doing is totally okay. So we are almost rebels by not
Correct.
doing those things. And we
Correct.
have to accept that people around us are not going to be vegan and we can't control that. We can't switch their minds overnight. So what happens when I'm building a relationship with a non-vegan is sometimes, especially if I'm having a really tough day or I saw some really rough content online,
Mm,
I might lash out a little bit and just feel really frustrated. But
mm,
then I remember this is me projecting my anger and that's not healthy. But what's also important is that the person you're building this relationship with needs to respect the fact that you may have different boundaries. So maybe you're not comfortable ever cooking meat, or you're not comfortable ever cleaning it up after they cook it. Whatever your boundaries are, that communication has to be there. And
mm,
so if they can totally respect and coexist with you in a way that you're comfortable with, a
yeah.
relationship is totally possible. Like a healthy long-term relationship is totally possible. So that's how we do it. I don't cook meat. I will never touch meat. So, and when we first started grocery shopping together, he would put the divider and pay for it separately. Obviously now we're married, so our bank accounts are a little
Yeah.
combined. So, there's an imperfectness to it, but we
Correct.
love each other and we respect each other. And so I know that ultimately he's eating more vegan stuff by being with me
Yeah.
compared to me being like, you're out of my life. He's never going to try another vegan thing again if we weren't together. So
Yeah.
he's doing positive stuff for the movement, even if it's not him going vegan and it being perfect.
Yes. I love that. I really love that. Guys, if you have any questions for Raquel, please feel free to put it in the chat. We will address it. Because she is fantastic at, just sort of navigating for new vegans and also coming up with like delicious stuff. Um, did you, you know, do you think you've almost become like a better advocate living with a non-vegan because you essentially can sort of see things from a different perspective, from his perspective as well? Because I know I didn't have to do that, right? Because my daughter chose at the age of 6 or something to be vegetarian. She told me, Mama,
Wow.
she wouldn't eat chicken even from the age of 1. It did not suit her, so I never gave it to her again, but I would give her
What a
fish sticks.
queen.
Yeah. And then her fish sticks, and she comes to me at the age of 6 and tells me, Mom, if you're not eating it, why are you giving it to me at the age of 6, Raquel? I was
What a
like,
genius. I
yeah,
feel like
I was
she's
like, dude.
a future icon. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So have you become a better advocate? And we have another question, which is favorite restaurant in New York City. Oh,
Mm.
Raquel's from New York as well.
Okay, my favorite one is probably a Nixie. The owners of a Nixie actually have a chain to like a little restaurant group where they own like 4 other restaurants, and all of them are really good. But a Nixie is probably my number one. They have a Dubai chocolate cheesecake right now that looks like I'm not even kidding you.
Everybody's mouth is watering at the
Insane.
stage, Raquel.
Yeah. Um, to answer your question though about the becoming a better advocate, is that the chef there, Chef Guy T? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I've never looked into the chefs, but he is a genius if that is him, because I brought a group of 6 meat eaters there and all of them were like absolutely stunned. It's Anixi.
And
It
where
is
is it? Raquel, do you
so
have the
good.
street corner, the street and the
Oof.
avenue by any chance?
Directions are like my weakest
Okay.
point in life. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It might be like I'm not even gonna try. I'll lead you wrong, but
Okay.
I would
Okay.
Google it. Um, to answer your question, it did help me become a better advocate for sure. I do think it also helped me to understand, yeah, like a different worldview, because now my whole online world is all vegan things, and I
Yeah.
forget just how disconnected someone can be from the vegan world. So it helps with my communication. It helps to bounce ideas off of, to have someone not vegan around. And then also it helps with unbiased food reviews. So if I'm getting a new product and I'm like, oh wow, this tastes exactly how I remember steak to be, he
Yeah.
can give me true comparisons. So it
Yeah.
makes me more accurate when I'm sharing with my audience.
Correct.
Like for example, I just got sent some animal-free dairy,
Yeah.
which has real dairy protein, but it initially comes from yeast. So it's animal free and vegan, but science is crazy. And
Yeah,
they're
it
just
is.
able to convert basically carbs into a certain protein. So long story short, I thought it tasted identical to milk, like exactly like it. And I thought I was going crazy. And then I gave it to him and he was like, yeah, like this is identical to chocolate milk. I would not be able to tell the difference. And so it's just so cool to have someone who can really give me like real time feedback.
Okay, give us the name of that one as well.
Strive free milk. It was so good. It was exactly like it.
SCRIBE, Scribe.
Strive, like STRIVE. And then it says
Strive.
free milk. Yeah. Like
Okay.
free, like animal free is what they
Mm,
use.
mm.
But if you have a dairy allergy, you cannot eat it or
Ah,
drink it because
strange.
it's a real dairy protein.
Really strange. But I love science, guys. Just the
I know.
technology has moved so fast and
I
so
know.
well in every area of our lives that we have so many more choices, which we, when I was living like 15, 20 years ago in Phoenix, Arizona, I did not have.
I know. The early, like those are real early adapters. Like 15
Yes,
years ago, you guys were like paving the way for us,
yeah,
because nowadays we have so many options. It's
correct.
so lucky.
Yeah.
And honestly, animal-free products are
Mm,
my greatest hope for good vegan cheese. Like that's what I think is gonna do it. They just
yeah.
haven't done it yet.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you think that let's talk about food and then the sort of transition, because we've spoken about the food and the technology and the science and how it's moved so fast, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
How there's obviously the other side of it, which is your wardrobe, which is your handbag, your shoes. How have you transitioned that?
Yes, it takes time.
Yeah,
Especially me. I do not have an unlimited budget,
yeah,
unfortunately. I
yeah,
wish I did, but
yeah,
I don't. So it's definitely like a process over time where I committed myself to purchasing vegan items as I built my closet,
yeah,
which is really more of an investment too. And I think as I got older,
yeah,
I obviously veganism is my top priority, but I also care about the environment. So I
yeah,
definitely want to purchase things that are environmentally sound, and I don't want to support fast fashion. So as I grow up and build my adult closet, I just started one by one adding in vegan items.
yeah.
So I have about 4 staple like vegan bags that I can rotate now. I'm up to 3 nice vegan heels. And so I just do that slowly over time. And I've asked my family, please don't purchase clothes for me if it's just like something quick that you're picking up, because it's just going to fill my closet with stuff that might not align with who I am. I do
Correct.
thrift a lot as well. So that's the other way that I slowly build like a kinder, more sustainable closet.
Yeah, yeah. And where do you think sort of fashion is the part that people almost forget about, because it's a lot of people sort of like like you started joining for health reasons, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then it becomes about animal cruelty. But nobody realizes that the leather industry is actually actively supporting the handbag industry and the shoe industry, right? Because a
Yes.
lot of people think, oh, they got the meat off of it, so it's a byproduct. But no, it's
Yes.
not the way it works because a lot of brands, and everybody knows this, 40 to 50% of the slaughterhouse's revenue comes from the hide,
Yeah.
which not a lot of consumers, like not a lot of you and me kind of people know.
Yes. They
So
definitely did a great job at making that not very talked about.
correct, correct, correct.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people forget about it, do you think that it's sort of important to do make those transitions slowly, steadily? Like what would I know that you sort of started thrifting and you went into this, buying things slowly, the handbags and all that. What did you do with your old stuff? Did you just sort of keep it in your wardrobe? Did you
When
gift
I first
it?
went vegan, yes, I did keep everything in my wardrobe. I felt a
Yeah,
little hypocritical at first, like
yeah,
wearing a leather bag that I owned and being a
yeah,
vegan.
yeah,
So I definitely felt this like, out of skin experience when I started when I started being vegan and then wearing things that were opposed to that.
yeah.
I slowly started getting over that feeling because I realized that life can be a little imperfect and that's okay. I've owned that for years. Like it's still a great bag. There's no reason for me to get rid of it.
Correct.
But when I buy a new one, at that point, I can either give it to a friend or donate it. I do plan to transition out everything in my closet that's not vegan
Yeah.
over time. I just need to have either a replacement or it needs to no longer be usable, like it broke or whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree. Actually, that's how I started the brand because when I went to, like, when I used to be in banking, I used to buy Gucci. And then when I wanted to buy something which aligned with my values, I'm like, dude, if I'm not eating meat, why am I wearing leather? And I
Yeah,
went to look for a bag which had that craftsmanship and that quality and everything, and I couldn't find one. So I'm like, okay, screw this. I am building it.
good for you. That's so cool.
Yeah, because I was
I
like,
love
okay,
that.
it's like you need something which aligns with your values. So
Yeah.
let's talk about content and community. What is like is there been like a piece of content that you've been like scared and terrified to post, which actually landed up sort of still resonating with a lot of people?
Yeah, I think talking about my non-vegan husband is always like a hot button. But I'm not really afraid to post it. I just know that it's going to get like some lashback.
Okay.
The main thing that I still kind of hesitate on is, the addressing the vegan that is still in the phase of attacking
Yeah.
advocacy.
Mm.
I really, really, I'm in marketing. Like I have a full-time job, so content is not my job at all. I just do this for the love of the game, truly.
Correct. Yes.
So like my full-time job is in marketing, and so when I look at the way veganism is talked about online, I see a massive PR problem. Like
Yeah.
I see a volatile topic that brands are afraid to involve themselves in because the
Yeah.
community is holding pitchforks, literally.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we're at a point where the online vegan community that we see sometimes attacking others are almost harming the movement, even though they think they're advocating for it.
Yeah.
And I really do want to find ways to create content to address that audience and let them know like we need to take a step back. We need to make this something that people can get behind and they want to be involved in. Because if brands can't talk about it and brands can't get involved with it because it's too I don't know,
Controversial.
controversial, yeah, then we're hitting a real wall.
Yeah.
So I just really want to, get that message out there without me attacking them because I don't want to attack them either. I just want them
Correct.
to know that communication is how we can be the most effective.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that we communicate about veganism is more important than being right. And just because what we're saying is right doesn't mean that the delivery doesn't matter. We have to be intentional with it. And so I think being effective is more important at this period of time because
Yes.
our awareness campaign is coming to an end. People are pretty aware of veganism now.
Yes.
Now we're going into the like lead captures. We want them a part of it. So
Correct.
we need to really start to focus on that type of communication around it. And I am going to put out more content around that. I'm just
Yeah.
being very
You're in eggshells right now, aren't you, Raquel?
I'm
You're like,
like,
please send your questions. If you guys think that what we're saying is not correct and you don't agree with us, that's fine. This is a safe space. You can
yeah.
tell us that because, we always want to listen to other people's point of view because as a community, we're all working together to get more people to go anti-cruelty, right? So please join the conversation. Feel free to. So, you know, let's do if there's new people joining into the vegan movement and they're doing activism. Well, if there was just one sticky note you could give them, what would that say, Raquel? Like
Hmm.
advice for new vegan advocates.
Hmm. For new advocates, I would
Yeah.
say like living by example is one of your strongest tools. So like be really healthy, like be really kind, be someone who like does what you say you're gonna do. That type of life that you're creating is admirable. And I think when people meet me, I'm not immediately an advocate. I'm creating connections. So I get to know
Yes.
a person. I don't tell them I'm vegan. I kind of keep it to myself. I get to know them so that we know each other on a personal level. And then when they find out I'm vegan, there's a new element added and they're like, huh, you're vegan? Like, that's interesting. Then they want to learn more.
Right.
And I think a lot of times I get asked questions because people feel comfortable with me.
Yes.
So
Correct.
if you're approaching someone and maybe they don't want to, you know, learn anything today and you're trying to educate them, it's not going to be well received. So I
Yes.
really wait for questions until I decide to educate. And I've had a lot of people tell me before, like, I've never really been able to like have this conversation around this medical issue, but they'll come to me about it because I've created a safe space. So being a safe space for someone and um, essentially living by example are two of the strongest forms of advocacy I've seen in my personal life. And so I think, we can only make so much change within our own circle of influence. So really just focus on how you can be the best version of yourself is
Absolutely.
all
Love
that
it.
we can do.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Raquel, we've had a really good conversation. This is the last round, which is the last section. It's called the rapid fire round. Okay.
Okay.
And it means that you need to, no thinking. No thinking allowed. Needs to be super fast. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Okay.
Ready.
Okay. Vegan comfort food you would eat at 2 a.m.
Burgers.
What?
Burgers, like a nice, like
Burgers.
sliders. I'm actually making sliders today. The
Okay.
sliders.
One ingredient you are weirdly obsessed with right now.
One ingredient,
Yeah.
kalanamak. You know that seasoning that makes things taste like eggs?
The what? What? Say
The
again?
seasoning that makes
Yeah.
things taste like eggs. It's called like
Yeah.
kalanamak.
Yeah.
I'm like
Kalamamak.
weirdly
You're
obsessed
the
with it.
second person in a live who said this to me. The second,
Really?
yes, the
No
second
way.
person. And it's the best part is it's like an Indian thing, right?
Yeah.
I have it at home and I've never tried it.
Oh,
I've
I
never.
love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Uh, yes. Okay. Uh, uh, the best vegan milk.
The best vegan milk. I personally like soy milk. There's a high protein silk right now. They have
Yeah.
chocolate and like not chocolate. I don't know if it's vanilla. I think it's just plain. That
Yeah.
one's my favorite. 13
Yeah.
grams of protein per cup.
13 grams of protein. Okay, I
Yeah.
need to get that. Um, a non-vegan food that you genuinely do not miss, and one that you secretly do.
I secretly miss crab.
Okay.
But it's not really a secret. Like I always tell people like that's the one that does it.
Yeah.
And then one that I definitely do not miss is like any steak, like any red meat, even though I loved it back then, like looking at it now, I'm just like,
Yeah.
like I could never.
You do you know when Beyond Meat introduced those burgers and it would have like the like
Oh, it
red.
still is kind of a little red.
Yeah, it and I couldn't deal with the red.
Mm.
But even though I knew
Yeah.
in my head it's beetroot juice. I'm just saying. Um,
That's fun.
yeah. One word you want people to feel when they land on your page.
Safe.
Lovely. Really nice. Finish this. Being vegan is easier than people think because.
Wait, I have another one. I want them to feel understood. That's what I prefer rather than
Oh,
safe.
that is so nice. I love that, Raquel.
Thank you. Okay, what was
Okay,
the
so finish this. Being vegan is easier than people think because.
because now there are so many options available to us.
That's
Truly.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Um, if your husband went vegan tomorrow, what would be the first meal you would make for him? I'm
Don't
not
get me
testing it,
dreaming.
Raquel.
The first meal I would make, honestly, would probably be the sliders I'm going to make tonight. His birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, happy
Um,
birthday.
well, thanks. I'll tell him.
Yeah.
So I think the sliders he really, really loves. And his other favorite thing that I made him is my vegan cinnamon rolls. They are like unreal. So
Okay.
that'd be what I would make him for sure.
Oh my God, sounds
Yeah.
really yummy. So Raquel, I think this conversation is sort of has been everything that I'd hoped for and more. Guys, you must follow Raquel. She is become a really good friend. She is an amazing influencer. She's exceptionally kind. I resonate with her at all levels, and she's one of those selfless people who just sort of help and make sure that you sort of nobody gets left behind. And that's the kind of person she is. So please do follow her. And Raquel, is there any closing words that you would like to say?
I think the last thing is just I saw a comment in here that someone
Yeah.
said it would be good to prep people who are going to get defensive for no reason,
Mm.
and like learn how to answer their many excuses for not
Yeah.
being vegan.
Yeah.
I think that the truth is our first reaction to that is we want to have a rebuttal and we want to get them to mentally be on the same place as us. But I think at the end of the day, we have to decipher, is this person actually seeking information or are they just looking to argue? And if
Mm.
they're just looking to argue, it's so important that we protect our peace and
Yes.
just kind of like, oh, okay, interesting. Kind of like let them have their way and then
Yes.
they'll stop because engaging in that conversation will drain your battery and it's just an unhealthy um, cycle to get stuck in with that person because the next time they see you they'll come back for more. And so just practicing shutting down those defensive people who really are just trying to get under your skin is the best advice I wish I received when I first went vegan, because it would have saved me hours of debating someone over the dinner table that never really was open to hearing what I was going to say anyways.
Mm.
Um, so that would be the first thing that I would tell someone is just learn how to protect your peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, to close this out, I just want to say thank you. This was a really fun conversation. And I also am really grateful for the chance to share a lot of my story. My page doesn't always talk about me as a person, it's definitely more of the vegan world. So this was really nice, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, Raquel. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. And
Thank you, guys.
we'll have the recording on the page. Thank you so much.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.